Hello and welcome to CoinGate News. I am Khushi Mudgal and today we are here at India Blockchain Summit 2024 where crypto experts and leaders from all around the globe are present and will be interacting on the theme Making India a Global Hub for Blockchain.
So hello everyone, today we are at India Blockchain Summit. So we are with Amar Singh Anand. So hi sir, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
So I have a question for you. Like, do you believe India is moving towards a blockchain-friendly regulatory environments, and why not?
No, great question. And there's been a lot of conversations on my panel and the other panels about this. So if you step back and look at the world, I could bucket all of the regulatory regimes in three buckets, right?
Okay.
So let's say you have the US, you have Europe, and then you have some of these more enlightened, visionary regimes like Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai, Japan. India probably falls somewhere between the US and Europe. So I think Europe has been one of the most progressive regimes because they've come up with MiCA, which is a full pan-Europe regulatory crypto strategy and policy. So there's a lot of clarity in Europe about how crypto is regulated in Europe. The US, on the other hand, has fallen behind because Gary Gensler at the SEC followed a policy of regulation by enforcement. So instead of working with companies and startups to understand how to regulate them, they kept fining them or banning them or even putting them in jail. So the US is now realizing that they have made missteps. So they are now becoming much more proactive in terms of regulating crypto. So now if you look at India, India has been pro-blockchain, I would say. There is a National Blockchain Committee and Council that's trying to incorporate blockchain in various initiatives, including Digi Yatra, Digi Locker, all of these things. But where they've, I think, not been clear is on the cryptocurrency side. There's been, very punitive tax policies. A lot of that has led talent to leave India and go to places like Dubai and Singapore. So even when we look at potential investments from Indian founders, a lot of them are not domiciled in India because they are concerned that the regulatory environment may not be conducive to having their companies here. So I think India is at a very crucial stage to be able to learn from the mistakes and the good steps that some folks like Hong Kong, Dubai, Singapore have taken, and not kind of make the mistakes that the US has taken, and ensure that this talent comes back to India and we don't lose more talent because of not having regulatory clarity.
So you have talked about the one thing, like I think India is making a policy. What kind of policy you're talking about? Like India is making for? Is it for cryptocurrency or for the platforms, the exchanges platforms I'm talking about?
Yeah. So the punitive tax laws that I talked about were across the board. If you crystallize any gain on sale, the tax that you have to pay on that is prohibitive. So whether you're a crypto founder or a crypto trader, that either leads you to take your company to places like Dubai, or it leads you to trade offshore through pseudo accounts so that you don't have to pay that tax because it's very high. So there's no sort of incentive for you to disclose your trading income from crypto in India. That's one policy. Even for the centralized exchanges, what we call the SEXs, like the banks have had kind of not a very clear mandate from the regulator about how they should deal with onboarding from rupee or any other fiat currency to crypto. So the banks have also been very cautious and they have tried to, weed out the activity that is dealing in cryptocurrencies. So the banks also need to feel comfortable that there is clarity, and then, retail traders and investors can onboard directly through the banks.
So I have a question, one more question from you, that as an institutional investor, what types of investment opportunities you are excited about, and how you guide our audience or the audience who are looking for investments?
Yeah, so as an institutional investor, if you look at since the blockchain paper, the Bitcoin paper was written by Satoshi in 2008 till today, the spectrum has moved from more infrastructure opportunities. So first we were building the L1s and the L2 protocols and even L3s and layer zeros. Then we were building the DeFi infrastructure. Now we've come to a point where block space itself has become relatively commoditized. And so that's not the constraint. Now the most exciting opportunities are on the application side. If you think about on the application side, what are the actual use cases we've seen globally? Forget India, right? So I'd say the biggest real world use case has been stable coins, right? So about $5 trillion of stable coins were traded last year, and about 23 million addresses worldwide. And we saw that trajectory not even come down during the bear market. So that's one secular real world use case, especially in countries where you have high inflation, where you have geopolitical instability. Those are doing really well. But now you're starting to see the next layer of applications, and that, most prominently, I think next is real world assets. So a lot of people have viewed blockchain as sort of this casino where there's a lot of gambling and trading going on, and because of some historical scams, etc., the general public perception in India might be कि ये तो घपला है या ये scam है. So that needs to change because one, the infrastructure has become a lot more robust to be able to handle these kind of use cases without having hacks and scams. But then there's some very powerful use cases. So if you think about real world assets, if you think about RWAs, so there we've already now seen some of the world's largest organizations. So BlackRock, right? So Larry Fink has now become one of the leaders, the cheerleaders of this. So he's the one who basically, incentivized the SEC and the other regulators in the US to issue the Bitcoin ETF license. Now we have an Ethereum Bitcoin license. So you now have tokenization of some of these big cryptocurrencies. You have money market funds, treasury bills, all tokenized and easily tradable in a compliant manner. The next layer of assets will be things like real estate, infrastructure, renewable energy, decentralized storage, compute. Everything is probably more efficient if it has a digital token because it's much more malleable. And so we think that every asset in some ways becomes a digital asset in the long run, which is why we're excited about this space.
So, do you think cryptocurrency will be legal in India? What's your POV on that? I just need to chat.
No, I mean, but you got to think about the question. Cryptocurrency is legal in India. What does that mean? Do you mean
Basically,
trading of cryptocurrency is legal in India?
Cryptocurrency is legal in India.
I think that has to be now they even have the digital rupee, right? So they're not averse to digital currencies per se. They have their own now, right? So yeah, and even right now, it's not like, just to be clear, it's not like trading Bitcoin or Ethereum is illegal in any way. They've just put a very punitive tax on your gain on sale, which is basically causing people to trade it offshore, right? Going forward, I think as you get a lot of these real world cases that are not the gambling trading variety, not the meme coin variety, you can think about a lot of those tokens for every such real world use case as quasi equity. Like, obviously Indians trade equities and futures and options on those equities in large volumes, right? So a coin is just a digital representation of the enterprise value in a company. So yeah, there's no reason to expect that you're not going to be trading, digital tokens just like you trade digital equities. As long as, people don't get hurt, as long as, your money is safe, you can do it in a secure way. And I think the government means well. They've seen some of the high-profile bankruptcies and scams, and they're very careful to not let retail Indians suffer. But I think now I'm getting a sense from talking to the government agencies and, that they are actually quite keen to take a leadership role in the world, especially as it pertains to blockchain. And I think that's the right approach.
Yeah, thank you so much for your insights. And thank you so much for, we are with Amar Singh Anand. And thanks for him with the insights that they have given to us. Thank you so much.